So, hello and welcome everyone to shooting and editing videos for business on your phone. Um, my name is Mike Sade. For those who haven't met you, I'm now situated in George, running a restaurant here. So, if you hear a bit of noise in the background, this is a real live restaurant happening at the moment. And I'm going to talk today about shooting and editing of videos. Now, it's a course that I've done before. In fact, I've done it a few times before, but I've had to change it recently because I discovered a few things over the last few years that have actually changed. I don't think I was wrong at the time, but a couple of years ago, I used to believe that it was the quality of the video that made a difference, that you really needed to understand video editing and you had to have your little studio set up and get everything right. Turns out over the last couple of years, that really, oops, I think I lost the screen there somewhere. Just give me a second. What went wrong here? Just give me 1 second. Sorry, something went wrong with my screen. See if I can get that back up. Okay. A lot has changed in video over the last few years, and we probably have TikTok to thank for that more than anything else, because this short form videos that are not really particularly well made or well presented are just seeing thousands and thousands of views, and a lot has changed in that particular time. So let's get on with it with our presentation. So all you need nowadays, you really don't need a big studio or anything like that. What you really need is you just need a clear message. And that I'm going to speak about a lot. It's understanding what it is you want to get across to what particular audience. So it's not just a matter of putting out your phone and making a video. A little bit of thought has to go into it. You really just need a steady phone more than anything else. You don't need a camera. You don't have to have fancy equipment. In order to do a steady phone, you either have to have a very steady hand, a gimbal, a tripod, something to rest your phone against. It's almost anything that keeps the phone steady. You need some good light. That is important, and talk a little bit about that later on. You don't necessarily have to buy a set of lights. Just positioning yourself correctly with the lighting. Isn't big backlight, anything like that. You need clean sound, and that's probably the single most important thing right now. People will watch poor video, but they will not listen to poor sound. So if you're going to make any kind of investment, and once again, we'll talk about that a bit later, if you're going to make any kind of investment, make your investment in a microphone or a set of microphones, whatever it is. That makes all the difference in the world. You need a very simple edit, just a matter of cutting the end off, cutting the beginning off, being able to overlay a couple of pictures. Nothing really technical or anything on that side. And then you actually need a reason to post. It needs to be a trend or something like that. So between a clear message, a steady phone, good light, clean sound, simple edit, and reason to post, basically that's it. That's all. So that's the end of the talk. Thank you all for visiting. Are there any questions? Okay, yeah, of course I'm kidding. There's going to be more. I've never spoken that little in my life. But that is kind of about what we're going to get through today. So let's understand something. Most small business owners are not losing because their product is bad. They're losing because people do not see them, do not remember them, and do not understand and why they should choose them. So please, I want you to think about that a lot. What is it that customers don't understand about you, and what can you help them understand? That's more about what this is going to be about, because video helps solve that. This is where I'm going to use video more than anything else, is to get a message, a particular message across to a particular customer at any one time. Now, I wrote a whole blog about this called Why My Wife Cheated on Me and What Taught Me About Marketing. And you can find that by going to mikesaidwhat.co.za, look for my writing and read my little article there called Why My Wife Cheated on Me and What It Taught Me About Marketing. Now, let me just, before we go on, just tell you something else. Before we go on, very important facts. I'm not married. My wife never cheated on me, and I do know a little bit about hospitality and marketing. But when you heard the title, Why My Wife Cheated on Me and What It Taught Me, you wanted to click on that article because something in that headline tweaked you. Something made you think, oh my God, I better read this. Now, when I sent it to my daughter, I got that exact reaction. Before she even opened the blog, when I sent her the title to say, Why My Wife Cheated on Me, I got one back that said, OMG, Dad, did you really post this? Then she came back and said, oh, wow, I really fell for that. So what we're looking for there is a real hook, but we will come back to this blog a bit later on because it is a blog worth reading and having a look at. Okay. Videos work because they show you who the person is behind the business. And that I found a lot of this, particularly on messages like platforms like TikTok and Facebook Reels. having yourself, a live person, deliver is much better than having an avatar. I've done lots of AI videos, and we'll talk about them a bit later on, what you can do with AI. But just having yourself talking like a human being, even if you're making mistakes, even if you're stumbling, even if you kind of berate yourself or correct yourself along the way, people appreciate that a lot more than a very polished avatar that goes on there. It also gives you an opportunity to show your product in action, no matter what it is you're doing, whether you're a hairdresser or a web designer or a restaurant owner or a plumber. Just to be able to show things in action makes a big difference. And that then goes towards the quality of the work. In other words, showing them finished product and what you're able to do. Let's say um, you do leather work at home, being able to show them the quality of the work. Also, video works because I'm able to tell you what the customer experience is. I can walk you through the customer experience, or I can even let the customer tell you. I can have a customer telling you how great the experience is. It also gives me an opportunity to show the story behind the brand, and that really is an amazing thing. And I'll talk about a video that was done for me by the George Herald, which went to the story behind the brand and how many views it's got. And then I'm able to show you the little differences that I make that make a difference in my business. Now, one of the things that we've adopted at the moment is, and we've really gone old school here at the restaurant, is when you come in, I walk around with my camera and I take a couple of pictures of everyone. And the first thing they said to me, is this for Facebook? Which I usually reply by saying, no, 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 I'm putting it on my OnlyFans page. Get a few laughs from the younger people. The old people look at me like they don't know what OnlyFans is, or at least they're pretending they know what OnlyFans is. But what we then do is we take that picture and we print it out and we give each customer that comes in a hard copy. And just being able to do that, and you must see their faces when they light up. And we include that in some of our videos. We get our clients to post about that. So these are the kind of things and the reasons why videos work so incredibly well at the moment, as opposed to a static ad or anything else like that. The big mistake that you're all making, and I used to make this mistake, is then I'll sit there in the morning and say, I've got to make a video. What should I film? I sit there and go, what should I film? What should I film? What should I film? The real question I should be asking is, what does my customer need to see, understand, trust, or believe? If I can get that right, that needs to be about. I need to understand the process of how I cook food. I need them to trust in me that the place is clean. So step number one, when you're going to start a video, give you a proper line a bit later on, is understanding what does my customer need to see, understand, trust, or believe. And if you can answer that question, not all of those in the same video, you only need to answer one of those in each video. So you might, for example, do a series of videos. You're going to decide to do, okay, I'm going to do 3 videos over the next 3 weeks. The first one, I'm going to introduce my business to my customers. My second one, I'm going to give them an in-depth look at what happens behind the scenes, who my suppliers are, where I buy my stuff, how my sessions work, anything like that. Then I'm going to talk to them about trust. I'm going to do a testimonial one. And then I'm going to use myself, and that's believe. So that's kind of the questions of all of that. So, for example, restaurants are so quick to post a video of their food. What they really should be doing is showing you how the video is prepared. Hands cutting knives, garnish dropping down onto the plate, the atmosphere in the place, people walking around, the buzzer. A plumber is not going to stand up and say, I do plumbing. What you really want to show him before and after, particularly with plumbers. This is an incredible opportunity. So, for example, you want to show people how neat and clean you left the place, how your solution worked for them. Maybe you want to run a series of tips for them on how to change a washer, whatever it is. So a salon shouldn't just show a video of someone walking out with their hair. It should show them how the person came in, how the cleaning was done. A bakery, show the icing, show the cutting of the cakes. So get used to this. People do not want to see your business. They want to see why your business matters to them. You need to put yourself, each time you do a video, you have to say to yourself, would I watch that video? Was that video of interest to me? Did that video make me smile? Because if you're getting a no to any of those answers, then you're obviously not doing it right at the moment. And that's the reason why you're not getting views and you're not getting traction on what you're doing. So there are different kinds of videos you're going to shoot. The first one, let's call that the product video. And I'll show you each one of the different videos. A product video, for example, might show a finished meal, a handmade product, a property. So, for example, if you're an agent, showing the actual property. If you're a builder, showing the actual product that you develop. A treatment, let's say you do beauty treatments, hair treatments, a service in action, before and after. All of those things are products. So someone sends you something, let's say I met a lady one day, you send her your old jeans, and then she stitches up the jeans for you with little patches and colored patches to be able to show them before and after. This is known as a product shot, and it's great for certain businesses. I mean, for example, if you're a psychologist, possibly you're not going to do a before and after, although maybe that would help in some stage, maybe help the person get a few dates. So the structure is simple. Show it, explain it, and then tell people what to do next. Now, don't forget that last part. Tell them what to do next. Very often, people are finishing off their videos without any kind of call to action. So it might be, this is what I make. These are the jeans. This is how you send them to me. This is how they'll come back to you. Now I want you to give me a call or contact me or visit my website, whatever. But tell people at the end of your video, give them a reason and a call to action. That's always going to be an important part of it along the way. The next video you might want to make is one that's called the behind the scenes videos. In other words, the kitchen prep, the packaging of orders. So let's say, for example, you do drop shipping, you show people packaging the orders, how you set up for the day. Let's say you're doing a studio. I know who's very good at videos and marketing in general. Nadine from Sheer Bliss will show you behind the scenes pictures of the fridge, little thing like that. Maybe you want to show the cleaning equipment. You want to show your staff getting ready, stock arriving, what to use, anything like that. It's kind of a behind the scenes video. And people love a behind the scenes video because it gives them an insight into the human side of the business. They understand, and it's your opportunity to show them how much effort goes in to the end. Now, when you go to a restaurant, you walk in and you're not really interested in what happened before you got there. But if I show it to you, you'll be amazed at how much work happens behind the scenes, how early the staff start arriving, how early the cleaning starts, how the prep gets done, all the little steps. And it gives you a kind of a feeling that you know a little bit about it. So behind the scenes, they build trust because people feel like they're being let in. They're seeing a secret that no one else will see. An opportunity to go behind the scenes of what is normally a closed or quiet business. Now, obviously, it can't happen in everyone, but you'll decide. Another kind of video that you might want to make is one that has a problem and then solves a solution. This is excellent for service business. So it's quite simple. The process is simple. Problem. First, I show the problem. Then I show the mistake. Then I show a solution. Then a call to action. Now, let's say, for example, I'm fixing garage doors. So my prompt would run something like this. If your garage door is making a grinding noise, there's the problem. Don't ignore it. That's the mistake you could make. It could be a worn roller or a motor issue. Once again, pardon the mistake. The solution, get it checked out before it becomes expensive. The call to action, phone me or on this number, WhatsApp me on, contact me, message me, whatever it is. Such a simple little process. So no matter what your business is, let's say you're a tax consultant. The problem is VAT is due on a particular date. You're not ready. Mistake, stop trying to do it yourself because you're making errors and losing out. The solution, call me with 30 years of experience. I can do your VAT returns for you. I can sort out your payroll, whatever it is. Call to action, call me today on 081 398 2190. Simple as that. No matter what your business is, you can probably come up with a problem solution video that works for you and for your customers. But don't forget, start off with the problem, the mistake that people usually make, the solution, then a call to action. The next kind of video I want to make is customer testimonials. Now, these are very simple to make. You just need permission from the customers. This can be formal or casual, anything like that. A customer holding a product, a little short review, some kind of reaction after tasting. I do that one a lot, reaction after tasting. So what I'll do is I'll deliver the food to the table. I slice it for the people, and then I video them as they take it in their mouth. They go, oh my goodness, whatever it is. And obviously in a restaurant, there's not going to be before and after customer comments, but that might work really well in a hair studio. If you do beauty treatments, if you have something repaired in your house, if you do painting, if you do landscaping or gardening, anything where you can show swimming pool maintenance or swimming pool repairs, anything where you can show a before and after with a customer comment, them saying, once again, they'll kind of go through, they'll tell everyone the problem they had, then they'll show them the solution. So I came for lunch. This was honestly one of the best meals I've ever had in ages. Just a simple line like that from a customer, a smiling face. Even if the customer doesn't want to be recorded, you can get a photograph of the customer and you can overlay the text there. But people do want to hear what other people think of you. It's a very, very important part of it. So customer testimonials is another form of videos. And you'll see that we're going through a series of videos. Not all of them might work for your business, but I'm giving you lots and lots of information that you can use and you can take from there. And then we get what's called the personality video. This is where the owner or the team become visible. Now, I love these videos. I love standing up in front of the camera. I've kind of got that kind of personality. I don't mind making a little bit of fool of mistake. I'll give people a quick tip. I'll tell them a story. We had a lemon tree fall over here and some wind storms that were going around. I went outside kind of in the driving rain or whatever with my phone. And I said, oh, it's so sad. Our lemon tree fell over. And then I showed the lemons on the ground. I said, and when life gives you lemons, and then I had a bottle of tequila, I said, drink tequila. And I had a bottle of tequila there, and I said, yeah, come to the Fat Fish, we've got lemon. And it's quite interesting how many people walked in and said to me, so have you saved the lemon tree? Were you able to save it? Were you able to prop it up? It became this little personal thing, a little story that was happening, a little behind the scenes, a little mistake I made. Sorry, I want to call. Sorry, I've got a visitor here. I said I'm in a live restaurant at the moment. This is where the owner of the team becomes visible, a quick tip, a story, a mistake you've made. That's another little thing, showing people that you're human, that you made a little error, you fixed it. You might also do a lesson that you learned, a myth you want to correct. People think you're expensive. People think you aren't open. People think you don't think. And I love those little funny moments about the business. I love telling little stories about kind of funny things that my staff said to me or my customer said to me. So last night, let me tell you a little funny story. I told you earlier, we print out these little pictures of the customers. We give them to them. It's on a little card. The card has their picture and then a whole lot of other pictures I put there. And I put it down in front of one of my customers who picks up the actual print, puts her two fingers on the picture and tries to make it bigger like you do on a phone. And she just suddenly starts laughing and blushing because she realized that she's so used to doing that on her phone to get a bigger picture. She thought she could do that on a live image. So that's the kind of thing. Those kind of little funny stories go a long way. They work very, very well on TikTok and Facebook Reels, where things are just happening very fast and very quick at that time. So how to shoot videos? Let's get onto that side, and that's probably what you really have to learn how to shoot videos. And I can tell you that step number one, before you do anything else, clean your lens. I know myself, even when I'm taking pictures of my customers, I'll look through the pictures, then I'll say to them, oh, hang on a second, pull out the corner of my shirt, wipe down my lens, get a completely different picture. Before you buy a ring light, clean your lens. Half of all bad business videos are not badly shot. They're simply filmed through the smudge and dirty look and pocket fluff that goes there. So step number one in shooting a video is clean your lens. Step number two, use the back camera wherever possible. Your back camera is a much higher quality camera than your front camera. The lens is clearer. It gives a much better picture. It gives a bit of depth and field or whatever. Now, occasionally you might want to use the front lens, and that's when you're doing a selfie shoot. So, for example, I know what the noise is right now. My garden service is here for the morning. So please excuse what sounds like a weed eater happening in the background. Of course, the one time I'm going to use the selfie camera is, for example, when I'm using a teleprompter and I need to read a script off my camera. Although I've learned to try not to do that at the moment and rather actually print out a couple of guidelines, which I paste behind my camera, and then I read through that because I've learned that video shot with a back camera are just so much better. So back when I'm shooting food, product, staff, demonstrations, anything where I can hold the camera, I like to do it that way. I also have invested a little bit in a gimbal. So nowadays they're about 1,500 Rand. Might not be worth your while, but if you are shooting a lot of videos, there are some things and some products I'm going to recommend that you do. So Number two, use the back camera wherever possible. Number three, hold the phone steady. There's nothing worse than watching a phone jump around all the time. You can always use two hands, rest your elbows on your body, rest your elbows on the table, lean against something. Even use a cheap tripod, a little tripod. You can buy one probably on Take a Lot for about 150 Rand and maybe another 50 Rand for the phone attachment that holds it. Even if you haven't got a tripod, get yourself a big blob of press stick. That also really works. Don't put the press stick against the floor, but put the press stick down on the table and push your phone into it. Rest your phone against something, or against a cup, a box, or a book. My favorite, and it often happens to me, I think I've got the thing propped up. I'm halfway through shooting, and all of a sudden, the thing just slides down. Um, then I either have to apologize and pick it up again, or I just cut that part out and I'll start again. Remember, shaky videos make you and your business look nervous. And if people, now, not to confuse high tempo videos that you actually want to do and you want to jump around, whatever, but those shaky videos where you're holding your hand shaking just they aren't a good look for your video at that particular time. Number four, don't be scared to get in close. People, and this is the same when you take pictures of products, when you take pictures of things, do not be scared to zoom in really, really close. Close shots look really well for food. Now, one of the best ways to shoot close shots is actually to stand a little further away and use the 2x telephoto. What it does is it gives it just a little bit of depth of field and makes the actual product stand out a bit more. So close-up shots, if your hands are working on something, if, for example, you're doing crochet or knitting, or you want to show some very fine work that you're a framing business, if you want to get a close-up of your product, to be able to show people what it is about the product, to show them the keyboard, to show them some cleaning you've done, a nice shot of the tools that you're about to use, also gives you an excellent way to show textures in food, textures in decorating, good for demonstration. So don't be scared to go in really, really close, not to leave the camera far away. You can even learn to shoot with two cameras if you're not shooting live, where you'll shoot one video of you from far away and then a close-up video on another tripod of your hands, and a little bit of cutting and editing. And really, it's nothing. And we'll talk a bit about cutting and editing a bit later on without going into too much detail with it. The other really nice thing is that AI is able to do this to you. You can put in your 6 shots into AI and then ask AI to construct a video for you, but I'll talk about that a bit later on. So step number 4, get in really close, and don't be scared to get in close when you do your videos. Number 5, use good light. Face the light. So, for example, I've got a light coming from a window in front of me at the moment, on my face at the moment. Do not stand with a bright window behind you. All it does is it kind of blows out the scene where you can see the white, and the person that you see, you can't see them at all. Film somewhere near a window, near something open. Also, pick your time of day that you film. There's something known as the golden hour. The golden hour is probably in winter from about 4 o'clock till about 6 o'clock, and in summer from about 5 o'clock till about 7 o'clock. The sun is a bit further away from the earth at that particular time, or from where you are on the earth at that particular time. It's often coming through a bit of haze, maybe even a bit of smog, and it gives a completely different light. And the absolutely perfect light, what I really consider golden light, is if you can go out and film after a thunder shower, after a Johannesburg thunder shower. There's something very, very magical about the light looks like at that particular time. And if you're shooting a house or a product or a car or something outside, and you get an opportunity to shoot in that particular light, you will see the difference completely in what you do. Shoot outside in the shade if possible, especially so that you don't get that bright reflective light on your forehead. So good light makes an ordinary phone look expensive, and bad light makes an expensive phone look ordinary. And that's as simple as that. Now, I will tell you just now about the phone that I'm using. I use an iPhone 12. That's about 5, 6, 7 years already out of date. I'm still getting good enough videos. It's not going to, Steven Spielberg's not going to give me a call, but I don't have to go out there and buy an iPhone 17 Pro Max, although I'd love one, and if anyone has one in their drawer that they're not using, I'll give you my courier guy locker address and you can send it to me. But you don't need one of those. What I really need to do is secure my phone really carefully, make sure I've got good light. And now next one, number 6, sound matters more than people think. This is probably the single most important thing when it comes to making your videos, is to make sure that your videos really work well. So film it in a really quiet place. So for example, you can film it indoors, and if it's too noisy, close the curtains, put up some blankets over things, make sure you film in a room that's got a carpet. What you don't want is too much echoing happening through the room while you're filming that. Avoid noise wherever possible. Wind noise particularly makes a lot of noise on the camera. You get that like happening all the time, and people are battling to listen at that time. So if possible, if you've got a microphone, you get what's known as a dead cat. Don't know why they came up with that thing. It's that furry little thing that fits on the end of the microphone. Use that to avoid wind noise at that time. Avoid music in the background. That's for two reasons. Number one, it competes with what you're saying. So, for example, I'm trying to give a talk, music's happening in the background, particularly if the music's got words to it, then the person listening, their mind is competing with following the song title that they know or listening to you. The other reason to avoid it is that if you're shooting a video, for example, in a restaurant and you're playing background music, if that background music plays for more than a couple of seconds, you might actually get a copyright strike from either Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok for having licensed music going on. I know it sounds weird. So for that particular moment, rather switch off the music and you can add some music later on that doesn't have a light. Get in close to your phone to make sure you can hear. If not, please at least use a lav mic. That's a wired lav mic or a wireless microphone. And I can tell you now, if you're going to spend any money at all, spend the money on the microphone. Maybe 150 Rand on a tripod, but if you've got a couple of hundred Rand, spend it on a microphone, something that plugs in and it can be plug in. I have a couple of wireless microphones, which really work extremely well. But if you can't afford them at the moment, at least consider buying yourself a lav microphone. The only thing is, please make sure that whatever lav microphone you buy actually fits into the phone or the device that you're going to use. So, for example, remember that the iPhone uses the Lightning. I'm sure all the new Samsungs are using probably a C-type, the new C-type, and some of them might still be using the earphone jack. And if they are using the earphone jack, please make sure you just are buying the right one. People will forgive you average video. They really will. They will not forgive you bad sound, and particularly if you're doing long form video. Short form video, for example, 30 or 35 seconds to maybe 40 seconds, you may get away from it. But if you're going to give a tutorial, if you're going to give speech to people, you've got to make sure their sound is right. Because a lot of people actually disconnect from the visual, and especially on long form, and then they're listening. So just to tell you the difference between long form and short form. Long form, for example, might be a 5 to 10 minute tutorial or maybe a long live video that you're doing. And short form are those quick little 10 to 45-second videos that you're putting in Reels and you're putting them on Facebook. Those are a little bit more forgiving. Number 7, shoot vertical for social media. Now, when I first started filming, all I would tell people is stop filming, film like an adult, turn your phone, turn to horizontal. But those are not, they just don't have the appeal anymore. They're not used on Facebook Reels. They're not used on Instagram. They're not used on TikTok. They're not used on Shorts. They don't work on your WhatsApp status. So more and more videos are being shot vertical. Now, vertical is the opposite to how you're looking at me right now. Vertical is how a computer screen, a TV screen runs in, that's horizontal. Vertical is the same as your phone, how you hold your phone all the time. So for most small business, I'm shooting in vertical all the time. I'm using, when I do my Facebook Reels, my YouTube Shorts, everything like that. The only time I ever do horizontal is for long form videos. And for example, an interview where I want to have someone next to me and I need to use that space. Website videos like that. If you're making a training video, you'll need to do it in horizontal because you want to use the space on the side of the head to maybe put some overviews or whatever. So shoot vertical for social media and shoot horizontal only for that particular use. But before you start your shoot, do that. Now, I recently did a product shoot here at the restaurant, and I made sure that every single shot that the photographer took of the food, he took one horizontal, one vertical, one horizontal, one vertical, so that I'm not cutting and cropping, and I can use them for whichever process and whatever I want to use at that particular time. So let's talk now about the accessories that you may need and accessories that can be used. I'm using an iPhone 12. No, I think Noah endorsed it. It literally came off the ark. I think it might be the last phone that still gets upgrades at the moment. but it really is good enough. I would love, as I said, I'd love to have an iPhone 17 or maybe one of the new Honor phones or Samsung where they have these really super videos. And I can see the difference, by the way. I do know the difference between them. But for what I'm using at the moment, my phone is good enough. I'm not going to invest in that. I do use a tripod all the time. I have a number of different tripods and different tripod attachments. I've got ones that stand up for when I'm standing, or ones that I can put on a table. I've got ones that I can attach to a tree. You don't need any of those kind of things, but I would do recommend that you do get yourself some kind of tripod, something that really holds your phone extremely steady. I have a phone holder that attaches to each one of them. Those are really, you can buy them on Takealot or Temu. If you're a Temu fan, you can buy yourself a little phone holder. They're adjustable. They get wider and bigger. They turn to the horizontal or vertical. They just are safer to hold your phone than to try and rest it against something. I have a set of DJI microphones. That's my pride and joy. I did buy them secondhand on Marketplace. Basically, it's a control unit that fits onto my phone. And then I've got two microphones, one that I'll be wearing and one that the person I'm interviewing is. The really nice thing about them is I can stand quite far from the camera because the microphone is literally just on my chest, just below me. It attaches either with a magnet or a clip-on. I get really nice, clear sound. It is very, very important. You'll see a lot of my videos. You might see this little box on me. I also have a DJI gimbal. A gimbal is something that steadies my camera when I'm walking through the restaurant. It's called a 3-axis gimbal. In other words, it stops the phone from rocking. Even when I'm walking, you can't see the walking steps. Once again, if you are going to do, for example, properties, businesses, restaurants, or whatever, it is an investment worth making. It's not one you have to make right now, and you can certainly shoot without a gimbal. But once you've got a gimbal and you start learning to use it properly, that's the other thing. There's a little learning curve on the gimbal, understanding how to turn the camera around, how to follow, how to pan. It really does really make a big difference. Then I always make sure that I have a power bank nearby. Just in case something runs out of power, I keep a power bank with all the different attachments there. I'm able to charge my phone, able to charge my microphones, anything I need, just in case. There's nothing worse than like a great opportunity comes out, then you discover you're on 21% battery, and you know that if you start filming at around about 20%, it's going to cut off. And then also I just make sure that in my bag I have all the cables I need, all the different attachments, USB to lightning, lightning to Type C. Just having a couple of cables around certainly doesn't help. So that's kind of my go-to accessories when I start my filming. And then every now and again, an opportunity arises where I have none of that with me, and all I then have to do is whip out my phone, speak clearly, make sure the lighting's good, drop the background noise, and I shoot it anyway. I don't want to stop the situation from happening to go and collect everything as I go along that way. So once I've then done that, what are the apps that I use? First of all, I'm a very big fan of ChatGPT. I still use that at the moment to write my scripts for me. I do imaging on it. I get titles from it. I've recently discovered Grok Video, which is actually quite remarkable. It's a lot of fun. So what you can do with Grok Video is you simply actually put a still picture or a couple of videos in, and you ask Grok Video to fix it for you. It produces I think 6 to 8 second videos, and they have sometimes some sound, someone talking. That can be a lot of fun to add to that kind of thing. As you all know, I'm a very big fan of Canva. I like to make a lot of my overlays or backgrounds on Canva, so it's always there on my phone. If I quickly need an overlay, I can do that. I use 2 video editing apps more than any others. The one is I use Video Leap, and I've been doing Video Leap for years and years and years. It is a paid solution, but a really good one. I'm happy to have bought a lifetime membership a couple of years ago, so I don't have to worry about it. I managed to spell video wrong. So there were Video, it's actually Video Leap. Well done, Mike, for spell checking that one. So Video Leap's my kind of go-to app, but there is another one called VLLO, and that's mostly free. And VLLO does more or less what Video Leap does. There's also CapCut. People use CapCut a lot. There's a CapCut free. All these little video editing softwares, they work more or less the same. You don't need a BSc. You don't need to study them for hours and hours. You'll get better at them. You'll learn to do title overlays. Most importantly, what you need to do is how to do a cut, to cut to a particular scene, how to do a transition between two different scenes, how to overlay something on it, and how to do titles. That's kind of it. And maybe to add some sound, but we'll talk about sound a bit later on and what you should do. So I used to spend half the talk just teaching people little tricks on Video Leap and VLO, only to discover that no one was really using them. All they were doing was shooting videos and doing a very, very basic. Another app that I love is actually called Quick by GoPro, and that isn't a spelling mistake. It's Quik by GoPro. What Quick does is it really you can enter 5 or 6 little mini clips, and it turns it into a fast-paced video with great transitions. That's kind of a real go-to one. If I'm out even shooting for a client, I might make a very quick video for them right there so they can post it immediately, because I'm also a very firm believer that quick and good is better than slow and great. So you really want to be able to put things out really, really fast. There's a little app on the market at the moment called Veed, and what Veed does is it adds text, adds subtext to everything that I do. So, for example, if I want to have and it is actually, I find that it does work. I translate my words, my speaking sound into words that come up on the screen. What you do want to do with that is just read through it, because sometimes it can hear you properly and it might make a mistake, and some of them can be a little bit awkward. And then, of course, there's YouTube. What I'll do with YouTube is learn a lot on YouTube. There's a fantastic amount of lesson videos on YouTube. Don't ignore YouTube. It's a great encyclopedia. And also, I like to watch YouTube. I like to watch Reels. I like to watch TikTok, not just because they waste my time when I really want to waste time, because I'm looking for ideas all the time. When I recently started using TikTok for business, for my restaurant, and one of the things that Sasha, my daughter, said to me is that I need to start following trends. I need to see what the trends are at the moment so that I can make videos that kind of match the trends at that particular moment. So those are kind of my go-to apps that I use all the time. And now I'm going to talk to you about a video checklist. What do you do before you start filming? First of all, I ask myself, is my lens clean? Literally, you need to have this checklist there, because sure enough, you're going to forget some of these things along the way. So literally have it on your phone, have it on a little image. I'm about to start filming. Is my lens clean? What? No problem. Give it a little dust again. Now, I'll be honest, I don't carry a dust cloth with me. I do use my shirt. I probably shouldn't, or a little tissue. But if you are OCD and a great memory, carry one thing. Is my phone steady? Is it going to fall down? Is the wind going to blow it off? That kind of thing. Is there enough light? I like to maybe shoot a quick 5-second video of myself and go look at it quickly. Am I placed correctly? I like to listen to my own sound. Is my microphone working? Because there's nothing worse than I record what I think is a great video, and I've put in all my personality, and I'm sure this is the winner, and I go back and I find out that I didn't actually switch my microphone on. So I like to test that as well. Am I close enough? I like to look at the thing. Have I left some space for cropping? Is that going to show what I want? And then, most importantly, do I understand the point of this video that I'm making? Is there a reason why I'm making it? What is it going to deliver to my customers? What is it going to do for me? Because, in fact, I should actually put that at number one. And before you do that, because before you understand what the point is, it's no use even cleaning your lens. So those are the kind of things I do before I start filming. Before I post, I have another checklist. Did I remove the messy start and the end? Now, very often what I'm doing is I'm leaning forward to press the record button, and I'm walking away. I don't want that on the video. That's the 2 or 3 seconds that I want to cut out from that particular part of the video. And also right at the end, when I say thank you, and then I start looking around, because we all kind of do this. We're only human, or I start laughing, or I start looking or walking. I need that off the video at the end. So if you can just learn to cut the start and the finish of your video, you're already ahead of everyone else. I also need to start off with something really, really good. You've only got 2 or 3 seconds to capture someone's attention, particularly when you're using TikTok and Reels. Those first few seconds are going to determine whether someone watches or not. In fact, when you go to Reels and you look at your, what do they call them, insights, your statistics on your video, it'll show you how many 3-second video views you've got. Then I ask myself, I look at my own video and say to me, is the message clear? Did I get it across? Is that what I wanted to capture? Have I explained the special properly? Have I explained my opening times? Have I told them what my Father's Day special is? Whatever it is the message clear? And is there one message that really runs through it all? There might be a whole lot of small messages along the time. If I'm adding text, is the text easy to read? Have I put the text too low? Have I put the text too high? Have I made the text too big? Did I put a little shaded background? Sometimes I think I'm going to put white writing, but then I'm wearing a white t-shirt, so I can't do that. So I take the time to look at it. I then say to myself, is there a call to action? Have I finished off with something that's going to make someone do something? That is so important. There's no reason for me to put the video on if the video doesn't finish off with something that I want you to do afterwards. Call me, book, laugh. Sometimes the call to action is share this with your friends. That's a call to action. Hit the like button, hit the like and subscribe. That's a call to action. WhatsApp me, but there always should be some kind of call to action. And then probably the hardest one of all, after watching my own video, I have to say to myself, will my customers care? Will this resonate with my customers? And sometimes that means being honest enough with yourself and say, that was just a cuck video. Go back and write it again, rethink it. It didn't work though I wanted. I didn't show the product. And sometimes I end up trashing videos that I thought were really, really good. And then I'll go back and actually rewrite it. Now, I find that I record videos best when I'm alone. It's also one of these very strange things. So I used to get one of my staff members to hold the phone if I didn't have a tripod nearby, and maybe even to hold the pieces of paper with my writing on it if I'm not using a teleprompter. And I then found that I stuttered, and I looked at them for a second and I wondered what they thought. So for me, I like to film alone unless it's obviously an interview or an interaction between two people. But filming alone, it just makes it easier for me, and then does your customer care. So that's my checklist. So I want you to use a one prompt template. This is quite simple. So it's a quick video prompt. Literally, don't have to read through all of this. But what you'll do is you answer all these questions. So my business is, and then I put the business name. I sell this. My customer idea is this. Then I tell it what kind of video this is. It's a product video. It's a behind the scenes video, testimonial, special offer. What is the goal of the video? The goal of this video is to increase bookings for Father's Day. I'll actually tell it that. And where am I going to post it? This is going on TikTok and Instagram Reels. What is it about? It's about the fact that we're giving away a vintage draft with all the plank stakes at this particular thing. What's my main message? My main message is we're open for Father's Day, and so this goes on. What's the call to action? How should the tone be? Then I'll say to AI, whichever one I'm using, be it ChatGPT or Gemini or any of them, I'll say to it, give me a video idea, give me a strong opening hook, give me a shot list, give me a simple test, all these kind of things. So what I've done is I've pre-written a prompt. This is a video prompt. I've pre-written a video prompt for you that I'm going to share with each one of you so that you can use this video prompt as you go along. Then it also says to it how I want the answers. I want the answers that I tell it. I want a video concept, explain the idea in one paragraph. I want to know which format it recommends for me. I want 3 opening hooks. Opening hooks, as I said to you, are so important. Getting that first question right. What am I calling it? Where am I going? As I said, my blog, which I named Why My Wife Cheated on Me and What I Learned About Social Media and Video, has had one of my highest opening rates because of that little hook. And lots of comments about it. I want a shot list. I want it to give me a numbered shot list. So it tells me, Mike, first film yourself doing this, then show a close-up of the product, then add a picture of the beer, then show people having fun. I want it to give me a script. I want the on-screen text, everything. This is things that I used to spend hours and hours and hours doing myself. But by writing myself out these prompts and having a pre-written prompt, I'm now getting everything I want at any time. So how do you find this prompt? Pop along to my website at mikesaidwhat.co.za. Click on the button there that says writing. When you go to the writing, you can read the article there, Why My Wife Cheated on Me, what it taught me about hospitality and marketing. Good time to read the article. If you don't want to read the article, just scroll down right to the bottom where it says AI Video Creator Template, and it will download a Word document for you so that you can edit it. I also have sent Tracy that same document. So she will share that document with all of you so that you can do the video prompt. Once you've got the video prompt in your hand, life changes for you. The next thing then is to actually just literally start making videos. So here are some videos that I've made recently, and just to give you some idea of what's happening, I'm a very big fan of videos. They happen all the time at the moment. So that the one on TikTok got about 18,000 views at that particular time. The George Herald did an interview with me. That blonde lady did some interview about how I came to town. When they posted it on YouTube, it's had about 4,700 hits. The George Herald, they then did a little Facebook page that's got another 29,000. Now, being the George Herald, it means people in town. And I can tell you that since this video was posted last Saturday, I literally have people coming in the door every day and saying, I saw your interview on Facebook. I saw your interview. Oh, I loved what I saw. I really do try and collaborate with other content creators. There's a woman in Mossel Bay called Mossel Bay Mona. She did a video for me recently, which got 16,400 views. And she did another one for me when I was still in Mossel Bay, which got 120,000 views. Now, 120,000 local views is just really incredible. I have a friend, Mornay. I love doing videos with Mornay. Him and I talk and whatever. The video that he did for me last time got 49,000 views. So if you add up all of that, you'll see there's about 200,000 views. So my product, my restaurant, my ideas are going in front of about 200,000 people just through videos at that particular time. And then Mornan also did a video yesterday. In fact, he came in and did a video while I was doing this. He did it called Another Gem. It was him and I eating meals together and talking. We did that. And that video by this morning has already had another 5,000 views on that. So I'm such a big fan of video. I'm such a big believer in video as the way, no matter what your business is. And I'm going to open up to questions just now, because I'm going to stop talking so we can start discussing actual products and questions that you have, which I think is going to be a very important part of this. I am a very, very, very big. So here's a 7-day challenge for you. On day 1, shoot a video that shows your best product or service. On day 2, shoot a behind the scenes video. On day 3, answer a common customer question. How does this work? Where do I find this? What's your returns policy? What if I'm not happy? Where do I find you? That's another really big one. Just do a video on how people find you. That's a common question. Show a before and after question. Show the product as it arrives in the product before you send to a customer. Introduce yourself for a team member. That's another great thing. I used to do videos with Blessing, the guy that helped me in the food cart, and people loved it when Blessing and I were in the video. So just to tell you, Morna and I once did a video where Blessing was in the background and Morna and I ate the food. I can't tell you how many people complained that we didn't give Blessing a taste of the food as well. It came up. So just such a funny little thing that people pick up what's happening on your video and they are watching. I love introducing my team members to people. I love introducing them. I share customer reviews. There's something's gone wrong. Oh, there was, sorry. Someone's camera was on. And then day number 7, in Essentia, if you can please switch your camera off or whatever, make a simple offer or invitation. So here's a 7-day challenge for you. And even if you don't do it over 7 days, even if you do this over maybe a couple of weeks, learn to make these videos. As I've said, every time I make video, every time I do a Canva tutorial, anything like that, I always say to people, the first video you make is going to be cuck. It's as simple as that. Not even a question. You're going to make a couple of really bad videos. The second one you're going to make is going to be a little less bad and so it's going to get better. The only way you're going to get better at making videos is by making videos. You can study all your life. It's really not going to work if you're not going to make them. So please take up the challenge and start making videos for yourselves. And finally, right at the end of the talk, before we get on to what I hope will be quite a long and intricate question answer thing, I do not make videos for other business owners. I make videos for my customers. The customer does not care if the edit's perfect. The customer does not care if the music is 100%. The customers want clarity, trust, and a reason to act. Just want to speak to you quickly about sound. I didn't actually mention that. When I start overlaying sound on my videos, and sometimes it really is nice, you need to be very, very careful that the sound doesn't take away from what you're saying. So If you're speaking, keep that sound very, very slow. You can always learn to increase the sound when you're not, but that's just something that thing. So please remember, I do not make videos for other business owners. I make my videos for my customers. I want them to love them. I want them to share them. From my number of hits that I'm getting, from the number of inquiries I'm getting, I can see that I'm getting great results from my videos. And none of them are perfect. None of them are incredible. None of them are Steven Spielberg type productions. In fact, the video that the George Herald made for me, one of the interesting things is that I'm not sure what software they use to do the subtitles, but a lot of the subtitles are wrong. Mike became Mark, Real and Rustic became something else, but people don't really mind. You'll get the occasional comments, but most people just want to see the video and they just really want to enjoy it. Businesses that win with video are not always the ones with the best cameras. The ones that show up consistently, explain clearly, and help customers feel more confident choosing them. Your phone is not the limitation, it's your confidence. Consistency and clarity are the real tools. Start simple, shoot today, edit lightly, and post often. That is really my message to you. Whatever you're doing, start making videos, even if you're making bad videos. Now, most of you have my contact details in some form or another. You're more than welcome to send me your first finished video. I'll send you back a couple of comments. I'll tell you what I think you could have improved. I'll tell you where I feel the sound fell down. And please don't take it personally. I'm going to try and do this to help you get better at what you do and not to point out your faults. I have made enough mistakes myself that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I do. So I just want to go over this one more time. They are the ones that show up consistently, explain clearly, and help customers feel more confident in choosing them. Remember, there's so much choice out there. Your customers need a reason to choose you. So here we go. Start simple, shoot today, edit lightly. You don't have to be a master at editing, which is the mistake that I made in the early days. I used to over-edit my videos. I used to try and get every transition absolutely perfect. And then I learned to post really, really often. So that's all from my side. I've been talking for roughly an hour now.